You know what I mean? I don't want him getting overwhelmed with some of the content in the SQL section, but that's fine if
Yeah,
he wants to do it that way.
we'll pull him out. We'll pull him out. Right now, I'm just concerned that we have like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So let's get as
Yeah.
much as we
Let's
can
get into the
done.
lab.
All right. So every time we clone a project in Ruby, or that's been our experience, we have to first run bundle in the terminal. So install bundle is going to download all the dependencies, but you can actually do a shortcut to the whole command, which is just bundle. That would be the same. So if you just do bundle, it'll do the same as install bundle. So
Look at that.
I know, right? I learned that doing these. Okay, so let's look at the instructions. You have to run bundle. I don't have OS X, so I don't know what, I didn't follow those instructions. But
let's check. Entering.
brew install open.
What is this for? To make sure event machine.
Yeah, that's it. You guys are Windows, right? Or Mac? Yeah, I don't think you're running El
I don't think
Capitan.
I don't think anybody's running that.
All right. So let's do well, I guess we already saw what rake T did. It gives you all the rake tasks. It gives you a list of all the rake tasks. So if you want to do it again, go ahead. If not,
Start there.
right.
Okay. It says create a table.
Right. So this is going to be our first.
That's that that task that I was talking about before.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so see where it says rake db create migration name equals create movies. If you throw that into your terminal, it'll create the file for you.
Right. So just copy the stuff on your canvas. The command that's in your canvas that says rake db create migration. And then you'll see that the folder is going to be
pop
created.
up right in migrate.
Definitely DB, I think.
Yeah, DB migrate.
There it is.
Boom.
Right, it was created for you. And it also created the def change method for you.
Sweet.
All right, so this one is the one creating the movie stable. That's what the method says, or the migration. And the method to create a table is create table. So we need to say create table.
Table.
And then the name of the table as a symbol, which is movies. And then do T, whatever you want to do there. Right, and here we specify the type of data type that we're going to put in that specific column, right?
Which is super nice because they just give it to you instead of having to figure it out.
Right.
And having to guess, oh, which one is release date? Because release date could be seen as like a time date instead of an entity.
So the way I was kind of explaining it, I can't remember if me and Max, when we were going over, you're like, it's kind of annoying having to figure all this stuff out. Is for the tests and labs and stuff, it's a pain. But if you think about it, when we're doing this ourselves in a project, you determine what it's going to be, right? So you don't really have to guess, unless you're like, this is what I'm going to be returned, and I really don't understand. Like, I don't know which data type is going to return the correct thing. It'll be a lot easier to determine the data types when you're doing your own project, opposed to trying to figure out how they want it returned in the test.
Okay, so the order that you put the string, integer, boolean, like the columns, does it So that's the order that it creates the table, right? Like the column, like that's,
Yeah, for like left
Yep.
from like left to right, you mean? I think
yeah,
so.
from
I
left to
think so.
right. Like top to bottom is left to right. It's like
Right.
that's how it creates.
Yeah.
All right, so Emmanuel just ran the RakeDB migrate, and now we have to run RakeDB migrate Sinatra to migrate test.
ENV test.
Migrate your table and rake to migrate test database. Okay.
Right,
Mhm.
and that way we can see if everything's passing or not.
Cool. And then you can run learn test now.
Right. Dash F.
Mm,
All right, now here's the fun
Oh, we'll
part.
get to that. Mhm. Let's see if everything has been created. Let's go down to the error.
gee.
Wait,
Actually, like all the way.
I just keep going. Let's see. Okay. Here. Let's see. Okay, it starts right here.
Yeah, let's go all the way down, all the way down. There is movie basic CRUD creating, can be instantiated and then saved. So we're going to create methods that are going to
Mhm.
create and save the, what is this, like the rows, right? Is that what it was?
Let's see.
So let's go to your file structure.
wait,
There
if you click
is-
models real quick, I just want to make sure that movie.rb is made. Yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure if we had to make that on our own. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead, Alberto.
Oh, you're good, man. You're good. If you want to jump in, I'm just like, trying to move as fast as we can because of the time constraint. So movies controller, that's going to be the file where we're going to complete the methods. They're giving you a link, which actually didn't help me too much, but they're giving you a link for query methods in your canvas, in your class, like the lecture for Flatiron.
Oh,
You go down, they give you a link where you can see active record query interface. Yep. Those will give you some methods, but in order to save some time, I'll try to guide you through the whole thing. So the first method, right, in order to have it pass, a movie can be instantiated, given a title. So literally all you have to do is instantiate that movie. So when you instantiate a movie or any instance, what method do you use?
when you instantiate a movie, given the title.
So without thinking about the title, what's the method to instantiate things? The one that hits the initialize.
Oh, assessor or
So instantiate might be the word might be the confusion. When you create something, what method do you use to create something?
Creating a new instance.
new instance.
Right. So if you have a class named dog and you want to create a new dog, what do you usually do?
Self.new.
Almost. I mean, the method is new, yes.
Yeah.
But go to the movies controller because we're not going to be doing anything inside this class movie right now. But we are going to reference that class though. Inside this controller, we are going to reference that class. So we're going to say movie, capital M. And then we're going to say, okay, well, what's the method to instantiate or create new instances? You said it. You said self dot, and then you said the method. Right.
Nice. Yep.
So, okay, let's stop here. So right now, you actually created a new instance. This is the first test. A movie can be instantiated. Okay. So the next thing that they do is they are giving that new movie that you created, they're giving it a title. So they're entering the title setter or the attribute accessor title, and they're giving it a title of this is a title.
Mhm.
The last thing that you're supposed to be doing is
Save it.
Correct.
it needs to be saved.
Right.
So there's another method. It's very, I mean, you can do it by intuition. You need to apply a
Okay.
method onto that new instance to save it.
Yeah.
I think just do movie.save.
Right.
There you go.
Nice. Yep.
That nice. So now you can run the test and hopefully this passes unless we, ignore something of the setup. You're gonna see if it passed, you're gonna see like it's telling you something else.
Mhm.
To reading can be created with a okay, so it did pass because it's giving
Yep.
you like a different test.
Mhm.
Now it can be created with a hash of attributes.
Mhm.
This was a little tricky. How would you guys Google for this? I think I did like create.
So, well, okay, so they're giving you all those attributes.
Mhm.
When you create a new instance, how do you pass it something?
Aren't we still doing the movie.new, but just passing in the attributes that they already gave you?
Nice. So,
It is
and
that?
how would that look? How would that look after doing movie.new? How would you pass it the attributes?
Like as an argument?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nice.
look at that.
Mhm.
You guys got it.
Mhm.
And then save it, it says.
See.
Max, we determined
Well,
that
you know what?
returning it.
Oh yeah, I don't think you have to. Did we? I don't think we had to.
I can't remember.
I don't
So-
think you did. I returned it.
What was that, Alberto?
Oh man, I looked up something and there's a method that actually creates and saves the instance right away, and it's called create. Instead of doing movie.new, you could
Oh,
create does like new and save at the same time. That's what they gave you only one line, because you're not supposed to add more stuff than just you're supposed to.
Oh,
That's what create.
interesting. Okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't spend 2 hours yesterday on this thing for nothing. Re-
So,
researching all-
that's why you were trying to go the Google route.
Yeah,
So,
Wait, so instead of the movie.new.save, returning it, just do .create? No.
dot create, yes, just
yeah, and
dot
that
create.
does all 3 of those lines of code, or
Gotcha.
well, I
And-
guess all 2 of those lines of code in one.
Okay.
Right. I'm actually going to share with you guys where I found this, and so you can dive into it. Ruby Redux.
This.
Said the queen of.
So I
Fun.
kept my original way, but I just commented in movies.creates attributes combines
As the-
2 lines. So that way so I know.
Also, that's probably not going to pass because they're passing you a hash, and so when they pass you a hash, you need to say attributes, colon, and then the name of the variable or the hash, which is attribute. So attributes colon, that's just a name, like a
Variable name.
variable
Oh,
name.
mine passed just doing attributes.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Did yours pass to Emmanuel with just
Yeah.
attributes? Oh, okay, well, never mind then.
Okay.
But now that you explain it that way, yeah, that's interesting. Because if you're getting a hash,
I think you could either do that with create or not, but with new, I think with new you have to. 'Cause I'm not sure if it's set up to receive hashes or not. Okay, so where are we at? Can be created in a block when no args are passed. So
Values, title.
go look at the spec file.
Oop.
Right, now let's go down to that one. Instantia,
Block.
I think you passed it.
Oh.
Can be instantiated with a hash? No.
no, it will say
no, but it's
block.
the one after that. Oh,
Keep going. No, there it is.
nice.
All right, so let's keep going down. All right, so look, they're gonna pass you a hash, right? They're gonna
Right.
pass you a hash, but if they don't pass you a hash, they want args to be a default, to have default value,
Mhm.
right? So let's give args a default value. And since they're gonna pass you a hash, this default value needs to be a hash,
Hmm.
just like the one in line 80 in the spec file, just like that one. So the same structure,
Right.
different values.
Okay. Right there.
Yeah, I guess that's what they mean by this. All right, and yeah, the values
Um,
alone in 1990.
Can you guys hear that music in the background? Is that too loud?
I don't hear it.
I don't hear it at all.
My dad loves blasting music.
All right, so that part is fine. You already gave it a default value, and the next thing, man, why can't I see those red letters? Look so faded.
see.
Creating can be created in the log. No works best. These look different too.
Close.
All right, so now we have to create a movie
Hmm.
instance with the past args. Let's try to do that on line 31. So we're going inside movie
Right.
and we're saying create
Mhm.
a movie, right? We're saying movie.create with that information.
Right.
So we have to say movie, like we're already inside the movie instance because movie.create creates it. M stands for the newly created movie instance,
Mhm.
right? And now we're inside a movie. We can give it a title and a release date.
No, the first one has to be string.
Well, no, this is not like that. So it's like we created a movie, right?
Right.
And then the next thing is M represents that newly created instance. So when you want to give the instance a title, you just say movie, you go into the title method of that, you say M title equals, and you give it a title.
And since it has to be the whatever the default value, do
Right.
like August.title to go into there.
Yes. But I think it would be args and then square brackets
Yeah, I think
title.
bracket.
That's JavaScript.
And that would be as a symbol there.
Yeah.
Right, and then the same thing for release.
So Max had a good comparison for me when I was going through this. When we were doing, I believe, actually, you guys going through SQL, there's a point where when you do initialize and you pass it a row, this looks very similar to that, where you're accessing the key and then assigning it a value based on an individual item in that row by using those square brackets.
Okay.
Emmanuel, real quick before you run learn.
Yeah.
The name of those hashes is release date, not release, just release. So it's release underscore date.
All right, check the chat, guys. I'm passing you the stuff about the create
Oh, nice.
that we were talking
And then the
about.
same thing for the m dot release.
Cool. I got that bookmarked.
Right. A few minutes left. Reading can get the first item in the database. So let's look at finder methods. Go to Google, do finder methods, active record.
All right, guys, I gotta head out. I
All
gotta
right,
go.
Christine,
Shoot.
good work.
Yeah.
Yeah. See you
Yeah,
guys.
we can go over this again too.
Yeah,
I
I'll
think
get through it
Alberto's
after work
recording.
tonight.
I think he's recording it too, so
Oh, perfect.
could always ask him for the recording.
Sure.
All right,
Thanks,
good luck
guys.
at work. Be safe.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
good luck.
Yep.
Bye.
All right, so here is. Oh, I think that's the same page. Right. Here, I'm gonna share this link with you guys too. Maybe you already have it, but I'll share it with you.
So also with these next few, I know that with us learning this stuff, we think that it's more complicated than it is. Just have the mindset of keeping these next few of them simple.
Keep it simple.
Yep. And
All right.
obviously you can still look through the finder methods, but yeah, just remember, keep it simple, exactly what it wants you to do.
Let's see, movie dot find title. Let's see.
Look at the link I sent you. Maybe it's the same as this one. I'm not sure, but
See, where's the chat?
Oh, you're reeling in the deep. Yeah, as soon as he sends it, there's a
so let's go
Scroll up just-
down. Yeah, or scroll up. I always get confused with those. You're gonna wherever you see the find,
Mhm.
you're gonna actually go up a little more on your screen. More. Right there.
Turn on this D1.
So you can do person dot find, and I think what do I have?
Object. Are they saying get the first item of the database? The database is.
Are you reeling in the deep?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I think I misled me there. There's actually a method. Let's look at all the methods really quick on top. The list. If you go on the list on top, keep going up. There is a last, a first,
Second,
check out, yeah, fifth, fourth.
Third.
First, not first.
nice.
Good.
Sweet.
I'm assuming.
You're assuming well.
You're assuming correctly. Yeah.
Okay. Mm,
So this third one is a method that, let's see, in the ORM section. The ORM section was the one where we had to write out all the methods, right? For like the Bear Lab and stuff.
So what's the name of the variable, the instance variable that captured every instance that was created?
It captures every instance as it created.
You remember that when you
No.
initialize? Or maybe you didn't work on this part. I'm not sure, but you remember that when you initialize
mm,
an object, an instance, you would have to shovel that self into a variable, or you didn't. Maybe you
Was it-
didn't go through.
Initialize movie and then, yeah, movie dot create attributes. So this right here, movie.
No, but I mean the ORM section, like way back there.
Oh, you talking about another lesson?
I'm talking about a topic for ORM where we had to create instances, and that every instance would go into an array.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that, or maybe you didn't go through it?
I remember that from. I don't think I remember that from the ORM. I don't think I got to that. Because would it be a class method?
It's a class method.
Mm-hmm. Well, then it's probably like a little bit different if it's in the ORM section that I haven't gotten to.
Are we talking about in regards to can get size of the database? Is that what we're?
Yeah,
Okay.
because, well, I mean, that's what I have. Like, I go inside that, I ask for all the instances that were created, right, in the movie class.
How many lines of code is yours?
It's just one, but I'm guessing I'm using more methods than I should. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm sure you could use count, and that would,
Okay, so that's what I was getting at. So, because that's what I did.
Count.
right. I just wanted to go this route because then we could move on to.
Yeah. No, do it, man. I don't know what you did, so it's yeah.
Well, what count is doing is it's just going inside the all variable,
Right.
and it's measuring that string. I mean that array.
Right. Okay.
But like you can do movie.count, or you can do movie.all dot size, and that would give you the size of that.
Yeah.
array.
Okay. So
See, I like having the multiple ways because your method is breaking down exactly what count is doing.
Mhm.
So that way, if someone goes, well, what's count doing? You could very easily go, well, it's going inside of the array of instances in movie and getting the size.
Right.
It's the same thing as saying, oh, it's counting all the instances in movie, just a little bit more in depth. So
Right.
I like your way explaining wise.
Sweet.
can't find the first item from database using ID. I think I saw that in here.
Nice. find by, did you guys find it difficult to find out how to pass the arguments? Like find by, or did you find it right?
This one I actually I did just fine on, and it was because I kind of related it to how we were writing it out in SQL.
I had issues trying to find out how to pass the arguments to find by.
Find the first item of database. I guess it couldn't be.
So for this one, they're giving you a specific task, right?
Oh.
So
Mhm.
they're not saying like find all of the items by this attribute or stuff like that. They're saying we want you to find the first item by an attribute. So when you're looking up an item, you are actually on it. So if you scroll down on that thing that you're on a little bit, I think it was down. Yeah, keep going. There you go.
Mhm.
So,
I think find worked. It looked like that worked.
oh, did it? Oh, I thought
Yeah.
it failed. Oh,
It does work, but you know what? My thoughts on this was like, they never said it should be one, but that's how it passes. They say, well, find it by attribute, but they don't really give you an ID. I mean, I figured they would pass it as they would give a parameter to can find first item from the database using ID,
right.
parentheses ID, but they don't do that.
So the thing is, so it passes. This is a test thing, right? Because technically it passes because you're saying find one and it's going to find the first thing there, but they're saying specifically find it by the ID. So you got it to pass. But really, I think if the test were able to do it correctly, and be more specific, what you would want to be doing is find by, and then locating the specific ID of one.
Oh, okay.
Because then you can do find by if they're like, well, now find the fourth item.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
database using ID.
Oh, I see your
Right.
point.
So it will pass doing it that way, but technically per what they want the method to do,
Mhm.
technically it wouldn't be passing if there were someone sitting here going, well, that's not what I asked you to do.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So
What
yeah,
Tyler's saying is you need to give, so if you're gonna find by name, then you better say like find by and then name,
right.
which is the name of the attribute.
Mhm.
The name of this attribute is ID, but you would find it as a symbol. So it would be colon ID, right? Or something like that, I think.
So since you're going inside the specific key,
Mhm.
you'd want, so how would you go into a key and then demand that it finds that specific value that you're passing it?
How would you go into a key and demand as finding the specific value?
So actually, better way to explain it. Oh man, yeah, maybe I'm kind of having a hard time explaining it.
So do ID colon and then one.
Yeah, I was trying to get him to that point without actually saying ID colon.
All right,
That's
so-
like- I was trying to figure out how to say it, and I didn't know how to say it.
Yeah, I don't think we can explain it at this point, but
Yeah,
so now if they actually pass a different ID will become that number. But before you didn't have a variable that could capture that number. So
or like if they were like, oh, just kidding, find the first item in the database using name,
Mhm.
then you'd have to change ID. Okay, find by name and then whatever name they're looking for. So
This is kind of,
Does that make a little bit more sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
this is kind of on the tests or the lab for having a stupid method. Sorry. But can find the first item from the database using ID. So this I mean, we don't need ID here, right? We could, but if we go back to, if you comment that out, Emmanuel, and then go movie.find one. There's a couple of differences between find and find by. Find is an active record method that is expecting a primary key. And it's expecting to look by ID. That's what it's for. And it's the most efficient. If you have an ID, it's the most efficient way of grabbing a particular entry from the database. Find by allows you to specify what attribute you want to find by, right? We can, or pass in multiple attributes and find by them. So we can say find by ID 1, but defining this as find by ID 1 is not going to allow it to then accept a variable of ID that'll change, right? We'd still have to hard code change this to 2 because we're not accepting an argument of ID or anything like that. But particularly, right, I just want to catch that because there is another difference. I think if you do find by, and I can't remember exactly what it is. There's a difference between what find by returns if it doesn't find something by ID or whatever it is versus what dot find returns.
I mean, it's there on the page.
It's there on the page.
Yeah, on his browser.
Oh, yeah, if no record is found, returns nil.
Oh, okay. And then what about if you scroll up to find? I think I'm pretty sure I thought find returned something different. I could be wrong.
So find is specific to ID, right?
Yes.
So, okay, so that, I guess that's what my point is though. So they say using ID, you would just automatically go to find, or
Well, it looks
because
like
if you use find by, because like I did the find by method and it passed, but if they said by using name, you would want to use find by again.
if they said by using name, if they said by using name, you would have to use find by.
Yeah.
But if they were doing find by for finding by ID, which this is only by ID, we can use either or, right? Find by ID is still going to work, but we could not use find on the flip side. We couldn't use find for name. I don't know if I made things more confusing by entering in late and interjecting.
Basically, whatever, if there's something being passed in, then you're probably best to use find by. But since nothing is passed in, just use find.
Well, so even if this, like, if you were to go up here and put parentheses and have it accept an ID, which we know it's not meant to for the test, but if say that's what we wanted, if you were to let it accept an argument of an ID, we would still be able to use just find if our intent was only to use that ID here. We would just say parentheses ID, and then we'd replace this one with that variable or that argument ID, and it would still work with movie.find. You can use either. That's just the find is only for an ID, and it's the most efficient way. Versus find by, we can do by any attribute or any set of attributes.
Yeah, but how were we
Right.
supposed to guess that they were gonna find by ID 1?
Well, it's telling you the name
Find
of
the first item.
first item from the database.
All right, I didn't pay
Yeah, so
attention to that part.
Yeah. That's where the one comes from. I'm sure it's somewhere in the test as well. I'm sure the test is maybe mentioning select the first item from the database.
So I guess the reason my first thought was go to find by was because of the way I was explaining it, was they said by using the ID. So then in my head, I'm going, okay, find by ID.
Yeah, which I mean,
Because
yeah,
if they
fine,
said-
it works.
Right.
You're gonna end up using
Database
find by
using
more.
name. Huh?
You're gonna end up using find by more anyway. In terms,
Right, okay.
but when it comes to active record and what you actually type out as code, you'll be using find by more frequently because typically you're not going to be finding by the ID
Right, find Steve.
unless you're trying
Okay.
to update or delete something. That's pretty much the only time you need to find by ID.
Right, because like if they're like, I want you to find Steve. Okay, well then I
exactly.
need to find by name Steve. And-
Yeah,
or whatever.
that's the reason I said. I mean, this is all for learning purposes, but yeah,
Yeah.
they tell you first item, which gives us one, but this is just also a silly method because there's another active record method called movie.first, and that exists, and that gives you the first item in the database.
Right.
Nick, you're
which
gonna
we
have to-
did earlier.
You're gonna have to show me how to share this video because I think it's gonna be stored in my computer. To,
You're
like,
gonna have to
send you a-
upload it you're gonna have to upload it to YouTube, and then you can send me the link and I can add it to the doc. That's what I do. I just upload them all to YouTube.
That face sounded like something you don't want to do.
Well, he started recording.
It's easy, right? I mean, it should be easy.
No,
I mean,
yeah,
if
as long- if
It's
you have a
just like
Google-
what you did for your
Google
project.
account, your Google account should, yeah, exactly. Your Google account should be connected to,
Yeah, no, I have a YouTube.
yeah, so then there's just a button that says upload, you click it, you drag and drop the
Drag.
file.
Well, so when you do your little run through of your app video for your project, do you use Zoom? Do you go onto Zoom, record, and then
Well,
upload that?
I actually use Vimeo.
Oh.
Something like that.
Well, I'm sure that it's somewhat similar, but yeah, what happens is after you get out of this, it creates a file in your computer, and then you just go into it when it says upload with YouTube, and it goes into your desktop files, and then just go to the Zoom folder and then click on the file. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Will do.
If you need help with it, just we can Zoom real quick and I can walk you through
No,
it.
I know. I think I can figure it out. It doesn't sound
Yeah.
too complicated.
I've been using Zoom for the last 2 projects to record my little video.
And it
So
doesn't take too long, right? To like
no.
upload.
And it'll take like 10 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing that takes long is to make sure that you're not copywriting, but it's,
Yeah.
yeah, it like does like a copyright scan, and then that's like the longest part of it.
Look at this,
Okay.
this Gen Zer over here. I knows all about YouTube. Are you Gen Z? Is that what you're
I used to make YouTube videos. I used to love yo-yos, and I used to always
I
make
love
them.
you. If I went on YouTube and I find a bunch of videos of you yo-yoing,
Probably not.
he's like,
That's
"Oh,
what my
I think really
oh,
quick."
that's what my database is gonna be, dude. All about Max's hobbies. I'm just gonna find turn
He's
videos.
deleting right now. He's deleting YouTube video, all his yo-yo.
right.
Did you have an embarrassing haircut?
I had the same haircut. I've had the same hair for a while.
So you
I got
had-
into
You're
yo-yo.
saying you had an embarrassing haircut. Oh, burn.
Exactly. um, there you go.
Wait, you're recording this, right, Alberto?
Yeah.
Max, you can nail him for harassment.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna have to be straight edge. No more fun for anybody.
No, screw that. All right.
Emmanuel, you could do that all on the same one.
Oh, so okay, this would be a good, I guess this would be a good example between the find and find by.
They give you those values that they're giving to you commented out are the values that they want you to search for, find by.
So with find by, have you guys used find by? If you scroll up actually, in your code a little bit, Emmanuel. Just go up a tiny bit. This is good. This works because you have it commented out. Line 51, right? The syntax of find by is always the attribute that you're trying to find by, colon, its value that you're looking by. So they're basically telling you, hey, find by title and use a colon and give it this value to search by. And then if you want to do multiple, you just separate each quote unquote key value pair with commas, just the way it would be inside of a hash or an object.
Yep. Nice.
Oh my goodness.
What was that? Oh my goodness.
My dad has like the speaker on like max volume downstairs.
What's he watching?
What's that?
Was he watching something? Listening to music?
No, he's listening to his music. He's
We just hear
constantly
Max all of
playing
a sudden out of nowhere. Dad, shut up! I'm with my friends.
music.
You do, you do.
We have a few with like speakers that you could talk to. We have an Alexa, we have a Google one, I have an Apple one here, but like we have a couple around the house, and like everywhere he goes in the house, it's always like Alexa, play Spotify, and then he'll just play all his music around the house at max volume, and it's super annoying.
It's funny because we'll be in Zooms and all of a sudden out of nowhere he'll just be like, "What?" And then he'll be like, "Oh, sorry guys," and mute. It's fine.
Did that work for you, Manuel? That find multiple attributes?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Were you guys? I'm assuming you guys have all just been working on this together.
Yeah,
All
we've
right.
been Christine got pretty much up to find, I think.
I think it's a
Yeah.
good start to figure the rest out.
Yeah, but she was
Yeah, she-
understanding it too.
She looked like no, yeah,
so
she seemed like she knew exactly
she
what
was
to
picking
talk
it
about.
up.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
again, right? Everything it is just CRUD. It's all CRUD functionality. That's all they're having to do is, and we just got to learn now the active record syntax for that CRUD.
Yeah, it's all crap functionality. And
Crud. Crud.
let's just get to Rails already.
So what does this one want us to do? What's our goal?
Find using where. And then and be sorted.
Are you hot, Max?
Yeah, a little bit.
Need to give you one of those Japanese fans.
Oh, I love it.
fans. Look fans,
It was like, oh, it goes brr.
right? And you can put blades on the edge.
See, but the thing is you can't do it like this. You have to flick it open and then you have to do it backhand elegantly.
Just so you know, Manuel, I'm not sure if that was, you were looking at documentations for take. And it does include .where, but they're referencing .take. I don't know if there's another section that has further down, probably. You hit this down arrow up here. Or even, yeah, or click where up here. If it active record finder. Oh, these are finder methods. So it might not be included in these finder methods.
Mm.
Because that's a condition.
It looks like it's not.
I'll send you the ones. They're called persistence. No, wait. Query methods. They're actually, I'm going to send you the link.
Another thing too, I bet if you went to Google and you just typed in active record where docs,
Here, here's the link. Chat.
or what, yeah, like it'll probably pop up as one of the first links or two.
Dirty work. Yeah.
So .order. If you go all the way to the top again, it's probably got that where you can click on it, yeah.
So I guess it would have been helpful to look this up yesterday, Tyler, because we were confused about why to put it in a string.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is the SQL that you will write, right? This will be the extent of writing SQL will be small snippets or small strings that you will pass to an active record method.
Yeah, see, because the way I did it, I knew like using .where would be the condition that it's looking for. And then in the way that the syntax that we've been writing it in, I knew to do .where, and then obviously the condition, but I did my condition differently. I didn't wrap it in a string or wrap it in quotations and make it a string. And that got confusing to me.
Yeah.
Would this be like movie?
So we're trying to find movies where that were released after 2002.
Yeah.
So what column were we going to be looking at? Right? Because if we look at this, I don't know if it doesn't say it here, but right. It shows you the SQL actually that it's creating. Select all from clients where orders count is equal to 2. So what would orders count be to the clients table, right? Clients is our table in our database. What would orders count be?
That would be, I think, one of the columns.
Yeah, it'd be one of the columns, or also what we call attributes. You'll hear them referred to as both. And here we have a release date column or attribute. That would most likely be what we're looking for in terms of released after 2002. So like we would start with our column name of release date. And then we can go from there.
Release date. It says after. This is after what, 2002.
So what would that mean in terms of like numbers? What comes after two? Numbers that come after 2002 are also considered what compared to 2002? Yep. Yeah.
Nice. So there is one more thing that they want you to do.
Sort.
Nice.
Wait, what do they want you to do? Oh, sort. I missed it.
I did that to sort. Was it like
Oh man.
and descending? Is the basic, is the original, that's ascending? If I just have it do it by itself.
So I don't think it's going to do anything to start. Technically, this is, while we're looking at the release date, this is returning an array of objects, or actually an active record relation of objects. But we want to use active record, an active record sort. Let's see what this says. I'm curious to see what we see here. Ruby includes support for sorting out of the box. Keep scrolling down. I don't see much here. Let's click the back arrow and let's look at the second link, because sort is actually not an active record method. Well, sort is a Ruby method, and we can call .sort chain onto this, because while this is an active record relation, we can call any methods that are met for active record relations on it. And we can also call any methods that are met for arrays on it. So yes, we can call .sort, but the active record version of sort is order, just like the SQL statement. And if we call .order on the end of .where, it'll then return another active record relation that we can continue to chain more .wheres, .orders, or, you know, more active record queries onto.
Really got to start Googling this stuff more.
Cool. Yeah, definitely Googling stuff is very, very important. So this is what you're going to do. Like, honestly, like, I know I've told you guys this, right? Before that we moved into Ruby, I hadn't touched Ruby since the very beginning of my first cohort. Like, I hadn't written, which was October of last year. So this was all for me. This week was all like, okay, I have to teach these guys these things. I don't remember how to do those. I'm Google, like, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? Looking at documentation, going from one thing to the next.
Oh, I did it, man.
Yeah, it's always Googling. Google. That's part of the thing. What I like about this, we'll do a lot more Googling together, trying to figure things out.
similar.
So we're trying to order by release date descending,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
It's weird because they give us, you know, now we're not writing SQL, now it's a different syntax, but yeah, if you look at the documentations, it'll always show which one to be using.
Damn. Dogecoin is down in the dumps.
Dang, rough life, rough life. How
Down
far
in the
down?
dumps.
How far down are we talking?
What is it at right now?
Did that
I
work?
got it at. I think it's at. This can't be right.
No, it did not work, right? So it expected movie 4, movie 3, got movie 3, movie 4. Try changing this to say ASC. Let's see if we flip it around. I'm curious if they said descending and then actually have it as ascending.
That's weird. Mine worked.
Oh, yeah, it did work.
It's down to 12 cents.
Change that made it work, Emmanuel, or no?
Yeah. I'll got a different one. A different test.
Come on and take a free ride.
Oh, nice. So it did. Oh, so this is working now.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Ooh, yeah.
And this is what's like active record is huge in terms of your back end programming. Like if that's what you want to do, Rails, like get into Rails and do back end stuff, being great with active record is great because it just allows you to manipulate your database objects easier, to make queries easier. Because sometimes there are like, you'll come across, I can't think of anything right now, but you'll come across like, you'll want to make a complex query. You're like, well, I want to take this object and find all of these objects that are related to it, but only if this attribute is greater than this, and also only if this other object that's related to it has this involved as well. And a combination of active record, you know, queries and chains allow you to get there.
Want me to continue? It's 3 o'clock.
Well, let's pause for a quick second. Curious on what your guys' opinions are on how this went today.
I thought it went well.
Like things to change, like feedback or things that we could do, we might be better off doing. I'm also open to, because I do think it went well. I think it was a little shaky just day one, but I think it went well overall. I'm going to talk to Ethan because I know he's concerned and I want him. We actually didn't do everything that I intended us to cover today. I planned on us looking at associations as well, because that's another piece of active record, which we'll get into that tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about rack and setting up a server. But when we set up rack and set up a server, we're also going to be setting it up to work with our backend, to work with our database. So we'll continue to do it there as well.
I'm gonna stop the recording.
Okay. And then Friday as well. We'll probably maybe an off stars. We'll just continue depending on where we're at.
That's fine.